If you never learn how to force yourself to do stuff you don't like doing, I promise you will never get where you really want to go in life. Just being honest, I spent way too many years of my life not chasing my purpose. I got my degrees, I started working, and pretty much did just enough to be comfortable, and that was about it. I started a few side hustles here and there, but I never stayed consistent with any of them. Every time I started something new, I eventually got tired of it. And once I got tired of it, I quit. And that same cycle kept repeating itself year after year after year, until eventually I looked up and realized I'm in my late 20s and I'm just now starting to do stuff I could have did in my early 20s. It's people younger than me, richer than me. And when I asked myself, how did I get to that point? I realized that the answer is because I wasn't doing the things that I didn't want to do, but I needed to do. Long story short, I was trying to live life on easy mode. And even though I thought I was a hard worker, I couldn't stand doing anything I didn't naturally enjoy doing. So, like many people, I spent so much time trying to find my passion. In other words, I was trying to find something I could do day in and day out and never get tired of. And the moment the latest thing I was trying got boring, it was game over. Done, data, on to the next. And it took me a very long time to realize that I kept quitting things because they stopped being fun. At the time, I had the mentality that I should only have to do work that I enjoy doing. And at the end of the day, that's a very bad way to look at things. And I'm here to tell you that if you think that way, that you need to fix that mentality right now. Because even if you do reach that dream scenario where, let's say you have your dream job or you start your company and you just doing what you want to do with your life, at some point in time, there's still going to be some type of task that you have to do that you don't really like doing. And if you can't force yourself to do those things, then you basically putting a ceiling on how high you can go. But at the end of the day, that's why it's important to have a deeper purpose in life. Because if you have a deeper purpose in life and you have real goals to work toward, that'll give you the motivation to do the things that you don't feel like doing, because you know deep down that it's going to lead to a greater benefit in the future. And so now we get to the point in the conversation where I want to talk about an issue that I think bothers a whole lot of people. And that is, what if you don't have a passion? What if you are the type of person that says nothing is important to you and all you ever want to do is be lazy all the time, lay in the bed all day, every day, and just eat, sleep, watch TV, and do nothing? And since you don't have a passion, you would much rather just find an easy job that you know you can tolerate and just keep working at for the rest of your life. Well, I see two things wrong with that. The first one is you might be confusing passion with pleasure. You think you can't be passionate about something if you don't enjoy every single second of it. And number two, being lazy is not really a part of your nature as a human being. And when you procrastinate, all you do is create more problems for yourself in the future. So at the end of the day, your free time is much more enjoyable when that free time is coming after you've been putting in hard work. And that's why if you get depressed, the first thing people tell you is keep yourself busy. They ain't saying that for no reason. And if you think I sound crazy, let me tell you what starts to happen when you start doing things you don't feel like doing. First thing first, when you make it your business to put in work, every other aspect of your life starts getting better. You start to move with a purpose and people notice it. Once you finish all the work you need to get done, your free time is really free time, and you finally get to do whatever you want and not have to think about all the stuff that you didn't do that you know you need to do. And so the truth that you may not want to hear is that if you think you should only ever have to do stuff that you enjoy doing, just understand that that way of thinking is not gonna get you too far in life. Now, you might be able to get by. I've been getting by, but that's just about it. If you wanna go far beyond your current circumstances, then at some point, you're gonna have to do something you don't feel like doing. And then you're gonna have to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it until eventually you don't have to do it no more. But even once you reach that point, you still gonna have to do something. You can't just expect to really be able to sit around and do nothing all day, every day. And you shouldn't even wanna live like that, because when you live like that, you put your brain in a state of mind that it's not really supposed to be in. And that's how you end up stuck in life, not knowing what to do to fix or change your situation. So the best thing you can do for yourself right now is get comfortable with the idea of doing stuff you don't like doing and stop thinking every single thing you do needs to be fun. I just heard a Mike Tyson quote recently and it really stuck out to me. And he said, "Discipline is doing the things that you hate doing, but do it like you love it." Y'all know how Mike Tyson be sounding, but that's what he said though. Discipline is doing the things that you hate doing, but doing it like you love it. And most people hate being bored, but the boring work is what is gonna set you apart from everybody else. And I do have something else that I want you to think about. I want you to think about the real reason you hate being bored. If you always chase pleasure in the external world and you can't stand doing something that's not fun, that's a good sign that your internal world is not fun. And since your internal world is not fun, you try to find as much pleasure as you can in the external world. And when the external world ain't fun, you can't stand it, because then your life is double unfun. And so you need to fix that. Get your internal world in order. Start making self-improvement a priority so you can learn to have fun with your internal life and learn to love living with your internal self. And once you learn how to make your internal world more fun, you won't have as big of a need to chase pleasure in the external world. And then you'll realize that all the stuff that you've been running from ain't really that bad, and a little hard work won't kill you. And just remember that at the end of the day, it's up to you to make your life what you want it to be. So now let's talk about the easiest way to start getting stuff done that you don't like doing. How do you go from being a pleasure addict to somebody that gets stuff done no matter how hard or how boring it might be? It's really as simple as this, all right? It's a 5-step method. Number 1, write down a list of things that you need to do, specifically things you have been avoiding. Number 2, pick one. Number 3, do it today. Number 4, repeat that same thing tomorrow. Number 5, and the next day. And do that until all the things that you've been putting off are done. And after you do that, I promise you, the feeling that you get after the fact will be way better than the temporary good feelings you get when you're being lazy. And if you're lucky, you might even get addicted to that feeling. And that's one of the best things that can happen to you in this situation. You get better at doing the things you don't feel like doing, and then get addicted to the feeling of getting it all done. And of course, once you get addicted to something, you want more of it. And what exactly happens when you start getting stuff done? Once you get to the point where you're addicted to getting stuff done, which is a healthy addiction, unlike scrolling on social media all day or watching YouTube videos, you get to a point where nobody can stop you from reaching your goals. And you start to be in full control over where your life is headed. And so from that point on, all you ever have to do in life is simply set an intention about something getting done, and it'll get done, because you'll be the type of person that's gonna put in work no matter what. The only thing that'll stop you at that point is not having a clear mission. If you don't have a mission, you just might end up falling back into your lazy ways. But if you do have a mission, it'll be very hard for you to lose focus. So, how do you find your mission? Ask yourself, if I could do whatever I wanted to do to make money, what would I do? What's the main thing I want to accomplish in life, and why? Once you get the answer, start doing it. Get real specific with it. Figure out what you need to do on a daily basis and a weekly basis, and then start making it happen. And before you say it, I already know it won't be easy, but that's the whole point of this conversation. You gotta get comfortable doing the stuff that's not easy. That's how you level up. And just understand that your biggest asset in this whole equation is time, but it can also be your worst enemy if you don't use it the right way. Watching YouTube videos is cool. Scrolling on TikTok and IG, they can be cool, but they take up time. And the time you spend doing all that is time you could be spending getting a bag, or at least working toward getting a bag. It's cool to chill every now and then and just relax and do whatever you feel like doing, but you gotta find that right balance. Watching videos on YouTube and TikTok shouldn't take more time in your life than working on your purpose. Even if you watch videos related to whatever your purpose is, At some point, you need to start creating instead of consuming. And sometimes creating might not be as fun as consuming, but whoever said that everything you do has to be fun? Now, after watching all of this, if you still feel like you just cannot get yourself to go past go and actually start getting stuff done, then you might have a deeper problem. And if that's the case, I suggest you watch this next video.